Hi, my name is Mac. I'm 32 years old from British Columbia, Canada, and for the last nearly 3 years, I've been riding my motorcycle from Canada, making my way to the southern tip of Argentina, to a town called Ushuaia. And over that time, I've acquired a lot of stuff. In this video, I wanted to show you guys what I'm traveling with. I think a lot of people might be curious what I travel with on a daily basis, and let me just start by saying I have way too much stuff. I am a motorcycle hoarder and I need to get rid of a lot of things. So maybe at the end of the video, you can drop a comment and let me know what you think I should get rid of. But, oh, that is a tarantula killer. Currently, I'm in the town of Alausi, Ecuador, and it's starting to get cold and the clouds are starting to move through. So I'm gonna try and record this video kind of quick before we get completely engulfed. But yeah, I have 7 bags, about 160 liters total of storage, give or take. And if you hear some barking, I apologize. I can't really control that. I'm in the middle of the city, and I just thought this would be a good opportunity while I have a nice backdrop, my own private mirador to record this. So let's get straight to it. I'll just start with the small stuff, right? So this is my fanny pack crossbody bag. Only thing that lives in here is my documents, my wallet, some hand sanitizer, and some like chapstick. Don't really need to show you that. This is my fender bag. So in here is a front tube, 21-inch tube. 21-inch tube, and also I keep, for some reason, a pair of vice grips. Other than that, not much. And then I have the Tusk Olympus tank bag. I have my Zoleo. I have my gloves attached to it. And inside the tank bag, I don't keep much, just random miscellaneous stuff. I have like my sunglasses and my regular glasses. I keep my buff in there. I had some stickers made in Medellin, so I have that in there. Some rubber bands, a small thing of Vaseline, and my GoPro batteries, as well as my visor cleaner and a little microfiber cloth. I also have some mosquito spray in there as well. So it's basically just for miscellaneous things if I need to throw something quickly in there. It's a good place to do it. Also up here in this top pack, I have some Ziploc bags and some zip ties. Okay, let's move the small stuff out of the way and let's get into the 45-liter duffel bag that I've been traveling with the whole time. I did bring this from Canada. Actually, all right. Let's start with the 45-liter duffel bag. This is where most of my camping stuff is currently, and I haven't used much of my camping gear that often on this trip, unfortunately, but I've been lugging it around all this way because I know I'm going to do a lot in Peru, Chile, and Ecuador. Peru, Chile, and Argentina. Okay, so here's the first absurd item that I'm traveling with. Drum roll, please. A rolling pin. Yes, I know, crazy. It's because I like to do a lot of cooking in the Airbnbs I stay in, and you can't find fresh tortillas here in South America like you can in Mexico. So I make my own tortillas, and I also make my own garlic naan bread. It's cheaper and it's more delicious, but it is a bit of an absurd item to be traveling with. I'll just throw that over there. Okay, I have a bike cover. I think this is a pretty important item. And I did pick this up in Costa Rica. I didn't leave with a bike cover. Actually, I did, but it ended up getting damaged, and I got rid of it. So I picked up another one in Costa Rica. Bike covers are so good. Protect the tank, protect the parts from the sun, protect it from the rain, keep eyes off of it, so no one's thinking about stealing or vandalizing your bike. I think a bike cover is really good. I also have a corduroy jacket in here. I really like this thing. I got it in Guatemala at a street market, and I've just been traveling with it ever since because I just wear it on many occasions casually. Also, I have a bag of rice that I'm traveling with right now at the moment. I think it's good to have some kind of emergency food on you, especially if you're riding remote. If I'm riding remote, I'll bring at least 3 days worth of water, and some of that will be, if I need to boil and make some rice as emergency food, I can do that. Also have a little Ziploc bag of coffee as well, a little cook pot. This is like 2 pots, and yeah, you know what these are. This is the MSR Dragonfly cook stove, one of my favorite items. I love it, super reliable, runs on the same gasoline my bike uses, and so it's not failed me at all. It's been super reliable for these past two and a half years. So there's the stove. I use the Nemo Tensor sleeping pad. I love this thing. I can't recommend it enough. It's never let me down, and it's so comfortable. So the Nemo Tensor is an amazing sleeping pad. As for the sleeping bag, this is the Thermarest Questar, so it's good for down to -6. It's relatively light. It packs pretty small. You can get smaller, but for how much warmth this provides, if I'm stranded in the Andean mountains, this will keep me alive for sure. So that's the sleeping bag we're running. And then other than that, it's just the tent. So I have the actual tent itself, which is an MSR Hubba Hubba 2-person tent, and then the Rainfly on top of it, as well as the poles and stakes, and the footprint. And then the last thing I actually have in this duffel bag is a custom-made kind of kickstand for the bike to get the rear wheel off the ground. I do have a center stand, but with the suspension lift we did in Mexico City, unless you find perfectly level ground, it's almost impossible to get the rear wheel off the ground now. So I need to use this. I could actually get rid of the kickstand now and just use this. It's a better option. And that way I can still lubricate the chain, change the flat tire if I need to. And that's it. That's a 45-liter duffel, empty. This I'm saving for last. It's the treasure chest, okay? What's next? So I have these 2 side panniers that are very heavy because they have the quick release mounting plates on the back of them. I got them in Mexico, in San Luis Potosi, Mexico, and they're 35-liter Rhino Walk mechanic bags. They're really good, super durable, and I'll just start on the outsides. So I have some chain lube. Usually my water bottle is in here, and over here is the fuel stove for the MSR Dragonfly. And this, like I said, it's regular gasoline that my motorcycle runs off of, and this is actually full, so it also doubles as spare fuel if I need it in a pinch and too remote. But let's see. Let's start with, I have 2 bags. One is almost entirely dedicated to clothing, which is a bit absurd. So this is the clothing bag. We'll open it up, and inside is actually a waterproof liner. So on top of the liner, I just pack a pair of running shoes. Very important to have some casual shoes to walk around in. And then inside the liner, the first thing that I pull out when I get to Airbnbs is my toiletry bag. This thing is pretty packed. I could definitely be a lot more lightweight, but in my experience, all the Airbnbs I've stayed at, it's actually hit or miss if you're gonna find a place that supplies soap and shampoo. So I pack my own soap. I have a spare as well, like a little bar of soap, and some shampoo. This thing's pretty wicked. I got it at Decathlon in Colombia. And so yeah, it's really cool. I just hang it, I can unzip it, and boom, I got all these compartments and just a bunch of things, grooming kit, moisturizer, face scrub, nail files, stuff like that. So there is my toiletry bag. And then for clothes, this is where it gets a bit, this is definitely where I can save some weight, but I have too much clothes at this point. First thing is a little toque. It's very important to have a toque. Okay. 3 pairs of pants. Hiking pants, very comfortable sweatpants, and a really nice, my favorite pair of jeans that I've ever owned, so I'm not getting rid of those. 3 pairs of shorts in total, swim shorts, exercise shorts, and the shorts I'm wearing just casual linen beach lounging shorts. And then in the mid layer, I have a beach towel and a leather belt for the jeans. I also just recently bought this in Ecuador. It is tech wash for my Gore-Tex suit, and I will be doing another video for my riding suit and just doing a review on the riding gear that I use. Okay, in the middle compartment we have a merino wool sweater, and we have a cotton crew neck sweater. And then underneath that we have some tech wear, so a really warm thermal top and bottom for cold riding days. And then I have some fancier clothing. So I have a really fancy like short sleeve shirt for nice occasions, and I have a really fancy long sleeve linen shirt that I could wear to a wedding if for whatever reason I got invited to one. And then underneath that I have basically all my shirts. So I have, like, I got this in Nicaragua, it's a sleeveless. Deanna gifted me this one in Costa Rica. It's a Costa Rican shirt, and then I just have a regular, so that's 3, 4, 5. There's a merino wool shirt, 1 merino wool shirt in there. So that's 5 t-shirts, 6, 7 with the nice, plus this one, 8. I have like 8 shirts total, which is absurd, but that's it. That is basically just dedicated to clothes, shoes, toiletries. And that's all I pack in that bag. So this bag is the miscellaneous bag. There's literally so much random stuff in here. It's crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this bag up. Okay, first things first. Right here is this is a new addition. I just bought it in Cotacachi, Ecuador, and it is a authentic 100% alpaca sweater, which I'm gonna put on because actually it's getting quite cold. All right, that's better. Underneath the alpaca sweater is the down jacket. I've had this since the beginning. It's a 4-class down jacket that I got from Decathlon. And so with, all this gear, I can be very, very warm. But this specifically I've been wearing through the Andes recently here in Ecuador underneath my riding suit, and it's kept me very warm. I have a little packing cube with socks and some underwear, like a few pairs, like 4 or 5 socks, like 3 or 4 underwear, and mainly all merino wool socks. Okay, now I have a bunch of bags. All right, so this is a cool satchel that I got in Guatemala, and I'm not getting rid of it. You can't make me. I love it. And inside is a couple more just random bags. Like I got this bag from the Mezcal Museum in Mexico City. This is another random little bag that I bought some incense in Costa Rica, or no, Colombia it was. And these are great for just getting like groceries, right? So I just have these ready to go. If I go to an Airbnb, I can grab this, go to the store, and get a week's worth of groceries easily. Same thing with this bag. It's a 19-liter super packable backpack. And this is what I do little day hikes with. I can fit quite a bit of stuff in here. My drone, my DJI Osmo, which I'm recording on, like room for a sweater, some water, snacks. This thing is great. I got it at Walmart in Mexico. A couple dry bags, the Moscow Motor bag, another dry bag. If the tent gets wet and I need to pack it up while it's wet, then it's going in a dry bag, and I'll just strap that to the outside and dry it out when I get the chance. And this is just a black bag for if I need to do a small load of laundry, just put this in and I can bring it to the laundromat. If I need to do a big load of laundry, this liner comes out and I can fit all my clothes in there. Obviously, it's where I pack them. What else is in here? This is literally laundry detergent that I can do my own laundry in a sink. If I need to wash my socks and underwear, then I can do that. Or a lot of the times these places will have a washing machine, but they don't supply a laundry detergent. So that's good to have I have my warm weather riding gloves in there. At the moment, I have my waterproof cold weather gloves on the tank bag. Okay, here's another absurd item, okay? We have a set of measuring cups. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the rolling pin. When you're baking, you need to be precise. So I weigh out my flour and the liquids, and honestly, I make amazing garlic naan bread. You would die for it. Like, I love cooking. I make Indian food, Japanese, Western, Mexican, Latin, all kinds of food. I do eat out a lot too, but I actually enjoy cooking. I was a chef for 6 years. But unnecessary, I don't need it. I have a really cool aluminum speckled, a speckled tin coffee cup for camping, or by chance if a place just doesn't have a cup. Unfortunately, it's getting quite damaged, which is really sad. I need to find a new one. But yeah, there's a coffee cup. A bike pump. This is a new addition. I had another one and it broke, so I recently got this in Quito, and it's just, yeah, it's for pumping up the tire, because this is the most reliable means of air. All the compressors, all the battery pumps, they always fail. So this will not fail you when you're stranded in the mountains, okay? A bike pump, very important. An umbrella, very important to have an umbrella too. So I have an umbrella. I have a couple things of paracord, some duct tape. These coincide with something that's in this box for a battery jumper. So yeah, if my battery dies, I do have the ability to jump it. This is a patch kit. This is this is a spare petcock for my Archerby's gas tank that I've been carrying since Canada. I haven't had to use it. Just bought this the other day in Salinas de Guarande. It's like bath salts. It's for cleaning, cleansing your skin, your nails, all that stuff. I just bought it because why not? I have 2 Pelican waterproof phone cases because I hijacked one from Meg when I left her in Mexico. My bad. And a lanyard to go along with it. I have a spare rear tube as well that I carry around. So patch kit, a spare front tube, and a spare rear tube. So I have all the tire changes covered. Literally just have some napkins in here because some Airbnbs just don't have paper towel or anything to wipe your mouth with. A stainless steel scrubby that I haven't opened. I bought it for like 300 something. I don't know if it's pesos, colones. I don't know where I got this thing, but I bought it with the intentions of scrubbing off some rust on the bike. There's another lanyard for the second one. I have my camp chair in there as well, just because it used to hang out on the outside, but I tried to get rid of some things and I made it fit inside. So that's where it goes now. I have another towel. This one's a bit smaller. It's a Sea to Summit towel, and this is good for like day hikes, just wiping sweat or whatever, if you want something a little bit more lightweight, or if someone needs to borrow a towel. So I have 2 towels total. Literally have some spare parts in here. I have 2 spare spark plugs, super random. Like I said, this is the miscellaneous bag. And then I recently bought these in Colombia, near the southern border. They're wooden spoons that I thought were really cool, and they were really cheap, made from wood from Venezuela. I don't know. I got some wooden spoons. Another lanyard for something else. And then at the very, very, very bottom I keep a few extra copies and documents in here. This is my flag kit. So once I enter a new country, I can use this to rip out a flag on. And then this is a cool map of Costa Rica that Deanna got me, and you basically, when you travel to an area, you scratch it off. And so yeah, we scratched off a bunch of areas when we traveled together in Costa Rica, and obviously this is very sentimental, so I can't get rid of this. And that's it. That's all that's in here. I do have this external pouch in the front, which I keep some salt and pepper, Himalayan sea salt, pepper, and some tea, and some Tums. You never know when you're going to get bad heartburn. Luckily, I have not had to use this at all. and hopefully never will. Okay, finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the treasure chest. This is where all my electronics, all the expensive stuff is basically stored. And this is a 45-liter lockable top box, so it's really nice if I get somewhere and I want to go quickly check out a monument or something. I can leave all this stuff. Doesn't matter if people steal this stuff's replaceable, but the hard drives, the SD cards, all that stuff, it gets locked and it's a lot more difficult for them to steal it. Inside the treasure chest, we open it up and the first thing is my laptop bag. Laptop, my MacBook Air, 2 hard drives, some cables, a mouse pad. That goes in there. And then I also have, this is where I keep my camera usually, the DJI Osmo. It just goes here in this corner. I've dialed in this configuration, okay? And then the next big bag, this is my drone bag / cable bag. So yeah, there's 2 compartments. At the bottom, we have the drone, an extra battery, and my laptop charger. I also have some spare drone wings in there as well. And then in the top compartment is where all the cables go. So I have my electric toothbrush cable, which I didn't mention, but yeah, I'm carrying an electric toothbrush. Chargers and just USB cables for charging up the drone and all my other devices. I have 2 really small frisbees. No, they're actually plates, but you could use these as a frisbee for if I'm gonna cook while camping. And then, so I have a mouse. I think it's really good to have options than just using the trackpad all the time, especially when I'm working, when you're working as much as I do. So I carry a mouse pad, and this is actually a really important item for me. This is an extension cord. A lot of Airbnbs have a nice work desk, but it's not even by the enchufe, which they call it in Spanish, which is the outlet. And so having an extension cord has been really, really handy. Here's another absurd item. Okay, I'm traveling with the Bellman stovetop espresso maker. It's big, it's heavy, and it has a frothing jug, a tamper. You know, I have things inside of things, like I have electrical tape in there and some carabiners. But yeah, I mean, it makes amazing coffee. And originally I didn't plan to travel with it. I planned to just buy it for the bus, but when Meg and I left the bus, I just took it with me and it just stuck with me. Some forks, knives, chopsticks. Obviously you need something to eat with. So all my cooking and utensils are all kind of spread out in different places, but I have everything I need to cook a meal and eat it. This is now officially the only portable charger I have. I had 2 smaller ones, but I gave one to Meg and I gave one to Deanna when she went to go do her solo travels through Colombia and Ecuador. And this thing has some surface damage for sure, but it's also a compass, which honestly, I'm not sure if it works anymore. Yeah, it still works. So it's a compass, it's a portable charger, it is a battery jumper, like I said, with those cables I showed you earlier. I can plug it into here. It goes right here. Plug it in. I can jump the battery with this. You can jump it a few times. You can jump a car battery with this. And also it is, well, it's an emergency beacon. If I'm broken down at night for whatever reason, I can make sure no one hits me if I'm on the side of the highway. And there we go. If you hold the button, it's also a flashlight. So this thing is pretty cool. That's the charger. So I also have a battery headlamp, very important for camping. I don't have the string lights that, you know, Meg was traveling with. And this thing, I'm just realizing, is dead. So I need to get new batteries for this as soon as possible. I have a floatable kind of handle and a underwater case for the GoPro. I haven't got to use it yet, but I did recently buy a new GoPro, so this will be good for filming underwater stuff in the ocean or lakes, rivers, whatever. I have 2 bags. One bag I'm really proud of. It is my awesome spice kit. I'm not going to go through it, but it has all the spices I need: garam masala, coriander, cumin, paprika, curry powder, chili flakes, all that stuff goes into here. So this is for cooking. Like I said, I cook a lot. And then obviously I have a medical kit: Advil, Band-Aids, wraps, splints, scissors, that kind of stuff goes in here. Medications. Another absurd item, I have 2 packs of incense and an incense holder. You never know when you want to just set the mood. And then the final thing in this top box is 2 tea towels. 1 tea towel from Colombia and a really beautiful tea towel I got in Mexico. And I just use these usually for keeping my tortillas warm. And other than that, they just sit in the bottom of the case. So that is everything. That is absolutely everything that I'm traveling with. It's a lot. I could probably cut down 75% of this and still be fine, but yeah, I have a lot of random items, and every time I think about throwing something away, I see its use. I see that's going to come in handy at some point, so I guess I've developed a bit of a problem. But let me know if you were me and you're in my situation, what you would get rid of. I know I could definitely get rid of a lot of clothes, especially now that it's going to be mostly cold weather. But that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, if you have any advice for me, because I'm no professional, I'm not experienced at this. Like, I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm still learning. And so I just wanted to give you the rundown of everything I carry. If you were ever curious, now you know. This is my home on my moto. So thanks again for watching. And if you enjoy the content and you want to see more, I'm going to make more videos like this, more insights into my life. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. And let me know what kind of content you want to see as well. I'm always down to make different types of video. Like I said, the next one will be a gear review and basically what I use on a daily riding basis. So thanks again for watching.